Hey guys, today I'm going to talk about 2-cycle oil. It's a little bit of a rainy day if you can't tell, so I can't really work on nothing, so I figured I'd come out here, clear a little spot in the floor, and sit down and talk about 2-cycle oil and show you how to mix different ratios. Alright, this right here is a standard 1 gallon mix of 50:1 oil. Now you see it says 50:1 mix. That's the ratio. That's 50% oil, 50% gas is 50:1. But you look on the back of most bottles and it shows different mixing ratios. Like 50:1 is, it says right here for 50:1 mix, it says add the entire bottle to a 1 gallon thing of gas. This is a 2.6 ounce bottle. But there's different ratios you can mix it to. You can mix it to 40:1, 32:1, and even 25:1. You can see the US gallons and the liters right there. So 1 gallon of gas equals 50:1 with this whole bottle, and 0.8 gallons of gas equals 2.6 ounces for 40:1, and 32:1 is 0.65 gallons of gas. I need to mix 25:1 for a Harbor Freight post hole digger, and I have half a gallon in here. So you do the math, and 50:1 is 1 gallon of gas to 1 whole bottle of 2-cycle oil. So to get 25:1, you use half a gallon of gas, which is 0.5 gallons, to 1 whole bottle. Now, the reason for these different ratios is different 2-cycle equipment calls for different mixes. Some call for more oil, others call for less oil. This is low smoke oil. This is actually synthetic with fuel stabilizer. I recommend getting it with fuel stabilizer because if 2-cycle gas goes bad, it's not going to be good. So what does more oil in the gas mean? Well, more oil, as you see, this is blue tinted. More oil basically means more lubrication for the motor, because on a 2-cycle you mix the gas and oil together. Unlike a 4-cycle, put gas and oil separate. And the reason behind like a 50:1 mix is some equipment calls for a half and half mix, some call for a little bit more oil than gas. And for example, this Harbor Freight post hole digger that I'm mixing this for calls for super oily, which is 25:1. I mean, this is mostly oil and not gas, which is a really high mix. But in some circumstances, yes, you can run 50:1 in something that calls for 40:1. This is how I mix it. I just stick my thumb in here. I have gloves on. I just rock it back and forth a couple times and just shake it. There ain't much in here, but yeah, that's understanding the mix ratios. 50:1 is half and half, 40:1 is 40:1 ratio, and all of that, because you see right there, again, mixing ratio, recommended ratio. For example, like my Echo string trimmer calls for 50:1, my chainsaw calls for 50:1, my leaf blower calls for 40:1, but I've been running 50:1 in it. Generally, with a 2-cycle, the more oil the better. If it calls for 50:1, yes, you can run 40:1. If it calls for 50:1 and you run 25:1 in it, it's going to foul out the spark plug, because usually on equipment, on 2-cycle equipment that is, that calls for really oily mix, like 25:1, it has a really hot spark plug in it. Like the spark is extremely hot. And even though this is low smoke oil, you all know more oil, more smoke. More oil is also more lubrication. But anyways, I hope this video taught y'all a little something. I seldom work on 2-cycles because half the time it's cheaper to buy a new weed eater than fix one, but every once in a while I get the carb rebuild or something like that. Something simple. But anyway, I hope y'all enjoyed this video. Questions, comments, concerns? Leave them down below.